breeze it took to shake the leaves to make my mother's hair move. My father dared touch it and say, please may I have a kiss. Yes, the breeze made me exist. And if you want to get even deeper into this right now, you will look at me and see a big old cloud. That's right, the cloud it took to form the storm, to make the breeze, to shake the leaves, to inspire the lip lock. Yes, a raindrop will pop up out these words. You heard me right. If you look at me close enough, you will see a dark, stormy night. And what is night? Well, night ain't night without a polar opposite of sunlight. So if you watch the way my hands sway, you'll see the light of day. And every day is a testament to the sediment of the earth's cores, ever spinning enormous force. So when you look at me just right, you'll see a spark of the source. But the most fascinating thing about this, and it's true, is that if you look at me just right, you see only what you perceive, how you believe, the space between you and me that creates reality. So when I sing, you can feel it. When I cry, you can heal it. When I speak words, you can be the words I speak by singing with me. Peace, love, free. 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 And when I try to fight or run, I only wind up back at square one. And when I think I know what's best for me, fate, she takes me back to exactly where I need to be. And when I am alone and full of fear, I just remember the rising sun always appears. And every day, miracles, miracles that I see. Will you take me back? You take me back, you take me back, you take me back to exactly where I need to. I am exactly where I need to be. I need to be exactly where I am. I am a blessing manifest.
Good morning, Celebration Center for Spiritual Living, and welcome to another fabulous Sunday morning. We'll wait just a moment for the overlay to come down, which I'm not upset about because I'm catching my breath from running around. And we have superheroes arriving. Just click the overlay itself. Doing a little dance. It's all good. There we go. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another fabulous Sunday morning. I have been running around like a crazy person this morning. If you don't know who I am, my name is Reverend Chris Alexander. I'm the senior minister here at Celebration Center for Spiritual Living. And we are physically located in Falls Church, Virginia, but we are committed to having a truly global community. So whether you are here in person or joining us online, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad that you are here. So if you are joining us online, I invite you to say good morning in the chat and tell us, who are you dressed up as? Did you dress up as a superhero today? Because I see some superheroes in the room. In fact, there is a Captain Curioso fan in the back who has dressed up like Captain Curioso. So that's pretty exciting that she has a fan. And she will be speaking today for the final week on flying in the flow. I also see Batman. I see some Buddhas and some Einsteins. Here's Einstein here, who is also a superhero. Very cool, y'all. All right. What else do I have for y'all? Oh, if you are joining us for the very first time this morning, I so apologize. There has been a lot of running around this morning. If you are joining us for the very first time this morning, an extra special welcome to you. And if you are online or if you're in the room and tech savvy, you can scan this QR code or go to the bit.ly /CCSL guest. Both of those will take you to an online guest form that you can fill out. And if you are in the room and you would prefer, over on the table right there to your left, there are guest cards for you to fill out. And if you are in the room, we invite you to silence your cell phones, but don't turn them off. It's okay. Hop on Facebook or YouTube, just make sure they're on silent and put all your thoughts and ideas and chats. Tell us who you are in the comments there. And if you are at home, we invite you once again to say good morning. If you would like prayers, if you would like a prayer request for our ministry of prayer as well as our ministers and practitioners, there are a couple of different ways you can do that. If you are here in the room, once again, over on that table, we have those green prayer request cards that you can fill out. And if you are online, you can scan this code or go to celebrationscenter.org and click on Request Affirmative Prayer. That is going to take you to a confidential prayer request form that you can fill out that will go to, once again, our ministers and practitioners, as well as our Monday afternoon ministry of prayer, where we will hold you in prayer for the week. If you are joining us online, I invite you to just go down to the bottom of your screen, click that share button, and put this on your Facebook page, your Instagram, your Snapchat, your TikTok, wherever it is that you socialize with others so that they too can enjoy this Sunday service. And I am so excited about this morning. Like I said, Captain Curioso is going to be here for her final talk on curiosity this month, Flying in the Flow. We also have Rich Kurushevitz as our practitioner on platform. Let's give him a round of applause. And then we have our music director, Lynn Hollyfield, here, and she will be joined by all angles, Nancy Newman, Joyce Lindell, Chet Hall, and Jen Fay. So let's give all of them a round of applause. And I heard them warming up. We are in for a real treat this morning. They sounded fabulous. We are still doing the Lutheran Social Services clothing drive, so we have another week of that. So if you forgot the clothing that you pulled out of your closet, like I did this morning, you can bring it still next week. And once again, that clothing drive is going to the new facility that they have where people can come in and get the items that they need, primarily refugees from Afghanistan, Ukraine, South and Central America, where people can go in and they can actually get things that they want and that they need rather than just being given things that they might not be able to use. So this is a really cool opportunity for us to support the refugees. So I invite you to go through your closet at home, pull out all of those gently used or like new, or my mother gave this to me 10 years ago and I swore up and down that I would wear it and never did. Or is that just me? I had like 5 of those that I had to pull out of my closet and bring all of that in next week so that we can give that to Lutheran Social Services. This afternoon is our sing-along with Lynn Hollyfield, so I invite you, if you're here in person, to stay after the service at 12:30. You can run downstairs, get a sandwich, and then come back up. Or if you are online, you can go to celebrationscenter.org and click on Enter Zoom Events, and either way, you will be able to join us for our sing-along. Next week, I will be out of town, and we are going to be having the amazing, beloved Reverend Sherry Quander speak on. Everybody else is already taken. Next month is Cultivating Authenticity. So I'm super excited she's going to be here. She's always a favorite of ours when she comes and joins us. And then finally, if you did not hear, I wanted to let y'all know that on Tuesday, Stephen Ledford made his transition with his wife, Carol Lutz, was there, as well as myself. And so we are keeping them in our thoughts and our prayers, and especially Carol at this time. It was rather sudden, and she's feeling the effects of all of that. And so we will be sending out more information on how you can support Carol at this time, as well as what we're going to be doing for a memorial service and things like that as we get information. But please do keep both Stephen and Carol and their whole family in your prayers at this time. And now I would like to invite all Ingalls up for an opening song.
All right, we're going to share Daniel Nahmad's song, Raising the Veil. Hope you'll sing along with us.
I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. I want to know you, God. I'm raising the veil. I want to see you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I want to hear you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I want to feel you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I want to praise you, oh God. I'm raising the veil. I want to love you, oh God. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. I'm raising the veil. I'm raising the veil.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn, and all angles. That was great. My name is Rich Kurashevitz, and I'm a practitioner here at the Celebration Center. Please pray or say our vision together with me. We are celebrating spirit within and knowing the oneness of humanity. Today's reading comes from The Power of an Idea and This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes. Life gives us the tools, but we have to use them. It is from the mountaintop of spiritual communion that we receive the inspiration, and we must keep the channel free and clear. We must provide a way for the ideas of spirit to flow into our minds and out into what we are doing. Know that the power of the invisible spirit is working in and through you now at this very moment. I invite you to enter the sacred time in our service with a 3-part breath. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Feel how you are supported by your chair and the ground beneath your feet as you deepen your breath and bring your awareness to the present moment. Allow everything else, the worries, concerns, to-do lists, and busyness to fall away as you simply relax in the now. Continue to breathe deeply. Focus on your heart center. Focus on the secret place of the Most High. On the love, light, and spirit within you. And so we pray. God is the power and the presence. God is all good, pure love, eternal and immortal. God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. God is the infinite source, the creator and the creation. God is all there is. And I am that I am. I am one with the power and the presence. I am a co-creator. I am one with God and the entire universe. I am perfect, whole, and complete. And just as I am perfect, whole, and complete, each and every one is perfect, whole, complete, eternal, and immortal. I declare that each and every one commits to spiritual rebirth and growth, to know the truth that sets us free. I know that we are all part of the one mind, one body, and one spirit, as we are motivated and impelled by love and peace in all of our thoughts and actions. I know that when we know the truth, we live a life full of the blessings we desire. filled with peace, love, joy, abundance. I know that as we embrace peace and love, this consciousness can transcend borders and make peace welcome everywhere. I know that as we open and raise our consciousness, we are divinely guided, directed, led, and protected to our highest good and greatest yet to be as the activity of God as love in the world. I am so very grateful for the good that surrounds us. It is within us and is revealed through the activity of God as love and peace in our lives. I'm so very grateful for the truth that sets us free as we live the life of our desires, which is our divine inheritance. And I release my word unto the law where it is already known in the mind of God and is assured of fulfillment. This is the word of God, and it will not return unto me void. I do give thanks that this is so, and so it is. Yes, sir.
We're going to share an original tune. It's called Diving.
Diving, diving in, diving into the unknown. Seek a path that's all your own. Seek a path with thoughts you've sown. Diving into the unknown. Diving, diving in, diving into the unknown. Listen in, what do you hear? Listen in, forget your fear. Diving into the unknown. Stay open to knowing we are forever growing. The sacred mysteries unfolding to us all. Diving, diving in, diving into the unknown. Breathe in, what do you see? Breathe in, what sets you free? Diving into the unknown. Stay open to knowing we are forever growing. The sacred mysteries unfolding to us all. Floating on the waves, guided by the silver stream, the river song says play. Feet first, know you're free. Diving, diving in, diving into the unknown. Clearly see the winding stream, clearly see who you want to be. Diving into the unknown. Stay open to knowing we are forever growing, the sacred mysteries unfolding to us all. To us diving in, diving into the unknown.
That's right, it's me, Captain Curioso, back for another Sunday morning. All right, let's see, how do you work this thing? Reverend Chris let me borrow it, but apparently I don't know how to work it. All right, hello everyone, hello. Wow, I see so many superheroes here today. This is awesome. And for those of you who didn't dress up as another superhero, well played dressing up as yourself as a superhero. Well played. All right, so are y'all ready to talk some more about curiosity? I'm sure you've been very curious all week about what else I have to say. What else could I possibly say about curiosity, right? You've just been like on the edge of your seat, holding your breath, ready for this morning. I know I have. So just a quick recap. The very first week of the month, we had Reverend Raymond Anderson here, and he talked about this idea of curiosity versus nosiness, and how curiosity, this authentic sort of welling up within us of curiosity for and about the people and the situations and the things around us, can really support us in our relationships and in building community, because we can open up to one another in a way that maybe we haven't been able to before. And I have to admit, I felt a little bit called out when he said that nosiness was not the same as curiosity, because I have been known to be a bit nosy in the past. I'm sure that's just me, though, nobody else here. And then the next week, I talked about cosmic courageousness and how we can fully step into our own courageousness, because when we choose to show up in courage, when we choose to take that step, even when we're feeling the fear, that the entire universe conspires and backs us to move forward, and that we can step out in curiosity, knowing that we are safe, that we are held, that we are loved. And then last week, I talked about extrasensory exploration and how our senses are so magnificent and how they support us in exploration, and how really exploration is the physical manifestation of curiosity. I can be curious all day long, but if I don't act on it, then nothing is going to change. And so it really takes exploration. It takes activating my senses. It takes really honing those six senses of intuition and extrasensory perception to become somebody who is not just nosy, but is rather curious and explores their world around them and the people and the community and things like that. And so today we are winding up with our superpower of flying in the flow. Now, how many people have heard just go with the flow? Just go with the flow. Yeah, everyone. That is quite the phrase, right? And for whatever reason, I don't know about y'all, but when I hear just go with the flow, generally, it is not a time in my life where the flow is feeling particularly easy to go with. And so when people tell me to go with the flow, I kind of feel like they're telling me to just jump into like the Niagara Falls and go over the edge and be bashed around by some rocks and you'll be fine. It's fine. You'll be fine. Everybody's fine. It's all fine, right? I don't know about y'all, but that's always my experience when I picture this idea of going with the flow. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to go with the flow, but I'm probably going to be bounced off some rocks and there's some pretty severe rapids and maybe some flooding and that bridge is washed out up there, but I'm going with the flow. We're going with the flow. And so I wanted to maybe look at it from a little bit of a different perspective today, because that might not always be the most helpful of advice when the flow seems more like, what is that? Tsunami. Is that what you said? Oh, you and I are reading. Oh, you said storm. That's tsunamis or storms. We're still on the same page. But rather, what could it look like to fly in the flow? Because when I hear the word flow, I always think of water. But that's not the only thing that flows. It's not. We have electric currents that flow through anything that conducts electricity, and so we have harnessed that, right? And the electricity flows through our wires and our cables and our lights, and through the air is lightning and all of this stuff. We have air currents that flow, and we have winds that come down, and whole weather patterns and atmospheric conditions, and this wind pattern does this and that wind pattern does that, and because of those things we can predict what is going to happen. And then, depending on the weather person, we may or may not get that prediction correct, but there's those flows, there's those patterns. We also have things that don't even seem like they flow, that flow, like old windows in old houses where the glass itself is slowly flowing. And so you can see in those old houses that the glass panes are thicker on the bottom than on the top because they too are flowing. So there are lots of ways that we can go with the flow. And so glaciers flow, all kinds of things flow. And so today I wanted to talk about what it could look like to fly in the flow, specifically to soar, to use the wind currents to fly in the flow. Because that to me feels a little more gentle, a little more reasonable than maybe tossing ourselves into the rapids in the middle of a storm. And so the first thing that I thought about when I thought about flying in the flow and wind currents is thermal updrafts. So I'm sure everyone has seen birds who are effortlessly soaring higher and higher, and they usually do that beautiful spiral pattern upwards, and you can see it with vultures, which are one of my favorite birds. I think they're absolutely amazing, but you can also see it with eagles and condors and all of those sort of prey birds that are magnificent and solitary, that they do this gentle swirling upwards, and almost effortlessly they are suddenly at new and higher heights. And so they are able to just conserve their energy, to trust their own wings, to trust those thermal patterns. And it's really interesting because as I was doing research on thermal updrafts, the places that they most often exist, well, maybe not most often, but one of the major places that they exist is actually in cities and in agricultural fields and canyons and things like that. So by humanity actually building and creating our cities, we're actually supporting birds and having these thermal updrafts to soar higher. And then once they get to the height that they want to be at, they effortlessly glide where they want to go. And how amazing is that? And when I think of going with the flow, that's what I would like to do, is effortlessly soar higher and higher and higher, spiraling upwards, and then gently gliding to where I want to go, having full faith in myself, in my wings, in my ability to go where I want to go. And the other thing that came to my mind is Canadian geese. So, maybe not everyone, has anyone seen Canadian geese flying north for the summer or south for the winter, and they're flying in those beautiful V patterns? I know that Ed sees Canadian geese in all of their various forms and fashions as he watches them at your house, right, and at the Arlington Memorial Cemetery, where he goes and he prays every single day. And they fly in this V pattern. And so I looked up why they do that. I mean, I know you remember when I was talking about the toddlers and you think you know something until they ask you a direct question and you're like, I don't know why the sky is blue. Nobody's ever asked me to explain that before, right? And so, yes, we all know that Canadian geese fly in the V pattern because it's easier somehow. And so I actually looked up why that is, and it is those draft patterns. And so that front goose is really doing a lot of the work. You can also see it with cyclists, right? That front cyclist works for a while and then they move to the back and the next one works for a while and everybody else drafts behind them. Well, that's what geese are doing, is that they are using one another, and in that way they can go hundreds and hundreds of miles, so much further than they could possibly imagine going on their own. And when that front goose gets tired, it falls to the back. And then what I thought was really interesting, this is just kind of a random side note, I don't have any metaphor for this or anything, is that you know how one side's longer than the other a lot of times? Well, that's because one side is actually easier because it's downwind. I don't know, I thought that was interesting. So what was really interesting to me about that was that as they are flying in the flow, as they are being together in community, that they are able to go so much further, that it's not even 2 + 2 = 4, but it's that exponential ability of a community to go further than ever imagined. And so, what does all of this have to do with curiosity? Well, we have to be willing to be curious, to find those thermal updrafts, to be in community with one another. We have to be willing to set down our inherent urge to be right all the time, and instead we have to be willing to step into community. How many of y'all remember group projects from childhood, from your school days? Group projects? Yeah, I'm just getting a lot of nods. How many people hated group projects? A fair few of us, maybe not all of us. I hated group projects because I always ended up being the one that did all of the work, and we would divvy it all out, and I knew good and well that Stuart was never going to do his part of the project. Sorry if your name is Stuart, but that was his name. And so I would give him the chance and give him the chance and give him the chance, and inevitably the night before the project was due, I was up all night doing the whole group project, and I hated it. I hated it. I was like, just let me do it in the first place. And what I'm realizing as I have gotten older and as I have maybe had to relinquish just a little bit of control over everyone else's life around me is that perhaps one of the reasons that Stuart never did his part of the group project was because I insisted that he do it my way. because I was the A+ student, and so obviously I know better than anybody else how this project should be done, right? And so maybe I would have had a different experience of group projects if instead of coming into every single project with this is the right way to do it, this is the way we're all going to do it, and if you're not going to do it this way, don't even bother and I'll just do it for you. Is anybody else familiar with that thinking, or is it just me? If instead I had ever so gently stepped into a group project with this idea of curiosity, with this idea of maybe other people might know something, maybe, right? And how different that experience could have been. And maybe that's what our teachers were trying to teach us. I don't know if they were. They did not succeed with me because it took me about 25 more years for me to figure that out. But that is what we are seeking to do in our community here. I can't do it all on my own. I can't be the whole community. If it's a community of one, it's not a community. It's just me hanging out, talking to myself. And that is generally not seen as a good thing to the rest of the world if you're just hanging out, talking to yourself all the time. It takes the whole community. And so therefore, each and every one of us get to step back and get to approach with curiosity rather than with knowing all there is to know about God, the universe, and everything else. And it also takes not only stepping in with that curiosity, that willingness to not know, but it also takes courage to step up and say, hey, actually, in this one area, I do know. I have some knowledge. I have some wisdom here. And so I would love to support you in this area. And I would love to hear how you can support in this other area because I don't know. And so all of a sudden, curiosity becomes not only a give and take with one another in community, but it becomes a give and take in ourselves. And all of a sudden, we get to be curious about who am I? What am I actually good at? I don't have to be good at everything. I can step back and say, I don't know. And so when I give myself the freedom to say, I don't know, then all of the sudden, I give myself the freedom to truly know in the areas that I do know. It's like that quote, your yeses mean nothing if you can't say no. Right? What you do know means nothing if you pretend to know it all. And so instead, curiosity allows us to be in the flow. It allows us to step back and say, I'm really lost here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the right answer is. Who does? How can we figure it out together? And maybe we're showing up to something that none of us have done before. And we all go, I don't know. I don't know what to do here. And then that beautiful exponential power comes in, and together we find an answer that none of us would have been able to find single-handedly. That is the beauty of curiosity. Curiosity allows us to take a few deep breaths and to slow down. And instead of reacting constantly to everything coming our way, to just respond, to just gently soar and float and figure it out and trust. I don't know about y'all, but that sounds a lot nicer than what I was doing for the first really long time in my life. And so, oh gosh. So it becomes the difference between being an eagle soaring on an updraft or being a 747 trying to get off of the flight, runway with like too much luggage in the thing because everybody packed 54 pounds in their bag, or is that just me that tries to get away with that every single time that I pack, right? And I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather be an eagle than a 747. They have their uses, they're great, but it just seems a lot easier to just float gently on those updrafts and to move around and find where they are right now and to get curious about our surroundings. So I was looking up curiosity, like you do when you're curious about curiosity. And I found a lighting and lamp company that had the best quote about curiosity. And I was like, wow, this is brilliant. Who are these people? A lighting company. They said, the inherent curiosity of the human mind is a great way to encourage flow states, moments of being present in the now with your full attention. So if you were here back in October, we studied the movie Soul, the kids' movie Soul. And in that movie, they talk about flow states and how when you get into the flow, you're just in that zone of genius and you're just riding the waves. And that is the same, that space requires curiosity. I really hadn't thought about that it requires curiosity. It requires letting go. It requires flying in the flow to be willing to get into that space. We can't know everything in that space. We have to just surrender. And so I have a question for y'all. This is not a rhetorical question. So if you have an answer, I'm going to have all angles go ahead and start coming up while I ask the question. I'm going to ask the question, give you time to think about it while they're singing their song, which is one of my favorite songs, by the way. And then I'm going to invite you to come up and give us your answer. So my question is really quite simple. And if you're online, type your answers into the chat and we will post them up and read them. But my question for you is, what are you curious about right now? What are you curious about right now? So think about that as we listen to this song.
Okay, we're going to share an Amy Steinberg song called Flying on Faith.
You could go ahead and tiptoe through your life, digging in the dirt, you can stress on strife. But I'm gonna fly past the worry and the pain today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith. You could cry all night about the things that you hate, so dissatisfied in so many ways. But I'm gonna find a way to celebrate today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith. Picked up my baggage and I threw it out the door. Not looking back, because the past is such a bore. I'm gonna stand with the moon, with the stars up in my face. Today, 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 today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith. You could hurry full of worry, let the fear take you out, imagining the worst overcome with doubt. There's no way to knowing is the only way today. Today, I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith. Picked up my baggage and I threw it out the door. Not looking back, cause the past is such a bore. I'm gonna stand with the moon, with the stars up in my face. Today, 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 today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith. You could go ahead and tiptoe through your life, digging in the dirt, you can stress on strife. I'm gonna fly past the worry and the pain today. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith. I'm flying on faith, flying on faith, I'm flying on faith. I'm flying on faith.
Whew, thank you, All Angles. What a beautiful rendition of that song. So, what are you curious about? Who would like to come share? Jen, come up and tell us who your superhero is that you're dressed up as. Come over to this one. Yeah.
So my superhero for today is this microphone. No, is Buddha. I'm reading a book called Zen Therapy, and I'm just finally learning the wisdom of Buddhism. That I've heard it before, but it's just different. But I'm curious about not only that, but I'm also reading a book by Rick Rubin on the creative process, and he's coming at it from a spiritual perspective, also very practical and experiential approach. But I'm just finding both of these books fascinating and really piquing my curiosity.
Thank you, Jen. And Jen is always reading something interesting, so she's kind of a superhero of curiosity in and of her own right, yes. Who else? What are you curious about right now? Yes, Batman. Oh, I'm so sorry. Catwoman. I didn't see her tail.
My robe tail in there, so you know. Okay. I had a conversation with my daughter this morning about the effects of like what you eat, exercise, and sleep, and its effect on depression. And we have lost a friend of ours a while ago to suicide. So we've always talked about that, and it's something that's always in my head. So we were saying, oh, she was really mean to me this morning, and she said, oh, I didn't sleep well, and I said, well, and now we went to exercise this morning, and she's like, I'm feeling so much better, and so we were talking about that sort of curious about, wouldn't that be great if all kids were taught, how like diet and, not diet isn't dieting, but like what you eat and like, just walking outside and being outdoors and a good night's sleep can do to your mental state. So that's sort of always in my head.
Thank you, Catwoman / Miriam Catella / our new board chair. Yes, which is a superhero in and of her own right. And yeah, that's so, being curious about our own bodies and what truly supports and nourishes them individually. That's beautiful. Thank you. Come on up, Stephanie. Tell us who you are, who your superhero is. Are you yourself?
Yes.
Yes.
I am myself.
Stephanie is herself because she is an artist hero.
My superhero. I have a lot of superheroes, but I'll just say Mary, Mother of Jesus, who I don't pretend to be, but I do emulate her. So, yes, I'm curious about art. I'm curious about the technical aspects of composition and painting and how to manage, brush and color and all that. And but really, I'm curious about how to bring what I see to a piece of paper so I can share it with other people.
Thank you. And Stephanie gives off major, lovely mother energy. So yes, I can see where Mother Mary would be your superhero. And yeah, perspective. She is in a lot of art, yes.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in Florence.
Come back up so people online can hear you.
This was years ago, but I spent a few days in Florence. And I kept saying every day, I have to go back to the Uffizi because there are so many depictions of the Madonna there. And I'd see it one day and then I'd be like, I'm going to have to go. I'd wake up, I'd be like, I need to go back there and see it more. And then and I think I went 3 or 4 days in a row.
Wow. I love that. I love that too, because it's like our curiosity. We don't have to be curious about everything. We can pick a thing and go deeper and deeper and deeper. And what do I have still to explore about this thing? What did I miss the last time? Get curious about that.
Well, I'll say one more thing. So, what I loved about these Mary, whoever she really was, and all that stuff, and the depictions of her. Oh, and of course I saw La Pieta in the Vatican, but she blended the God in the human, and the joy of knowing the blessing of having God living and growing within you and giving birth to that, and the sadness and the pain and the heartache of having that human taken away from you. And when you look at a lot of these paintings, you can see that. You can see that sublimity and that joy and ecstasy along with that pain and terror. And that can be, I really relate to that in the human experience.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Janine, tell us who you are.
This is interesting how things come together. My superhero melds what Miriam spoke of and what Stephanie spoke of, because my superhero is my mother, my own mother. And this blends, the practical aspects of mothering, which doesn't have to be just female energy. It is energy that nurtures. And the spiritual aspects of mothering, the wishing the best and the most for us. The outfit I wear represents my mother, and it also represents me. My mother graduated from Oregon State College, and so did I. It was a university when I went there. My mother is a home economist, and so am I. And I love the fact that I am a home economist. They changed the name of the program to Family and Consumer Sciences, but home ec is my heart. And so I have something representing sewing and cooking. My mother was a scout leader, and so was I. So I have my Troop 150 T-shirt on. Yeah. And my mother loved to garden and sew and cook and care for her family, just as I love to cook and some sewing, and I love to care for all of you. I really do. So anyway, yay moms.
Yay, moms. Thank you, Janine. I love that. I always love when we do tell us. Yeah. So I can hear from all of y'all. Anyone online, Ivor? No? All right. Anyone else? What are you curious about? Or who are you this morning? Or who's your superhero? Yes, come on up, Chet.
I've been curious about motion and aging. So as you get older, how to keep moving. I live in a retirement community, and you see lots of people with walkers and stuff for balance. And I feel that that's not the right way to go, that you need to do exercise and movement so that you have your balance and you can do it on your own.
Thank you. Who are you? Tell us about your shirt.
I'm God.
Yes. Thank you, Chet. Yes, movement and how to keep ourselves feeling good. And Chet, you do, what's it called? Feldenkrais, right? Yeah, and it's this really cool movement activity. So ask Chet about it, or Lisa Hilton, if she is watching, she also does Feldenkrais. Come on up, Nancy, and tell us who you are, too.
Well,
Wait till you get in front of the microphone.
No one in particular except all musicians, and how they composed and how they thought of what they did and where all their creativity came from. Is it inborn or did they learn it? And the other thing I'm curious about is different ways of expressing art, not just what you see, but something more abstract or something, different kinds of mediums or different kinds of paper, or what would it look like if I did this or that? And so my superheroes are the Van Goghs and the Impressionists and those kind of guys. You're welcome.
Anyone else? What are you curious about? All right, come on up, Ed. I could see you hemming and hawing and thinking about it.
My simple answer is everything. My name for God is mystery with a capital M. And quite literally, I've said this before here, every night, still, I go out on our deck and I look down at Acatink Creek in our backyard. And I think about all of the things going on down there that I can't see, that I can't know about. And then I look at the houses across the creek, and I think about everything going on over there in those houses, and I have no idea what's going on, who those people are, what they're living there. And then I look up into the trees and the stars, and I have no idea what's going on up there. And then I think about the solar system and our universe. And yesterday I started reading some theory about multiple universes, and because I've been asking myself, how do we know there aren't other universes too? But I just think about all of the things that I don't know about all of that stuff. And that's God. That's all God. God is infinite. So my name for God is M, capital mystery, mystery with a capital M.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you. I love this. So, we have an online. Brenda Schreier says, I'm curious about the universe and how small we are and how much space is out there beyond us. Yes, Brenda, yes. And yes, Ed, all of the things that we don't know. And we talked about that a few weeks ago. The things that we know and we know we don't know are just minuscule compared to what we don't know. So, I will tell you, Reverend Chris, and don't worry, she gave me permission to tell you this. She has been really curious about creation spirituality, which is Matthew Fox's work. And so she has been reading this book called Creation Spirituality, and it is just fascinating. So I don't know if Christopher Ull, who wrote Developing Ecological Consciousness, also read Matthew Fox, but their work is very intertwined, and she is just loving it right now. So don't worry, she gave me permission to tell you. And so, with all of that, I invite you to just take a deep breath and allow your own curiosity to lead you into that place in the very center of your own being, that place within you that knows and remembers the truth of oneness, and also gets a little curious because we can't actually know what that means. That infinite, absolute, eternal thing that is so much more than we could ever imagine. And so we get curious, curiouser and curiouser. And knowing that because there is only that one thing going on, that thing that is so grand that we can't even adequately name it, we know that it must be each and every one of us here in this room, here watching online, here watching the recording in the future, maybe even decades from this moment, because time and space truly doesn't exist either, or maybe it does, or we don't really know, and so we just get curious. And I am just so profoundly grateful for this amazing community of magnificent, curious superheroes. This amazing community that is made up of all of these people that we do know and people that we don't even know yet. People we don't even know we don't know yet. And how magnificent is that Celebration Center is growing and thriving and moving in directions that we can't even fathom. And so we just open our hearts, our minds, our arms to one another as this beloved global community. And I am so grateful for this community. I am so grateful that I am a part of it. And I am so grateful for the curiosity that is represented here, that is represented online, that is represented in the future and in the past. And so I simply release my word. I let it go. I know it is done as I have spoken. And so I just fly in the flow and surrender to life. As we say together, and so it is. And so this is the time in our service for our gifts and our offerings, and your presence here, your curiosity, the way that you show up to the world is a gift. And if you have a monetary donation that you would like to make this morning, there are a few different ways that you can do that. If you go to our website, celebrationcenter.org, you can see our address there if you would like to mail in a check or a money order or stocks or any of those other things that you mail. You can also click on the Give button or scan this QR code, and both of those will take you to our Secure Breeze website where you can give. And if you are here in the room, we also have the table right over there where you can drop your offerings in the basket. And now I'd like to invite Rich up for an offertory affirmation and prayer.
Join me in saying our offertory affirmation together aloud. This gift I give is God in action. I give it in joy. I give it in love. I give it in faith. I give it knowing that I am blessed, and so I gratefully give. We now bless all the gifts that are donated now or coming into the center, as we know they are given from the Spirit and love within as we practice the law of circulation. Money is energy. We express gratitude for this flow of energy of good that is motivated by love and Spirit within. These gifts come in to the center and go back out to the community to benefit the community, and then come back to us multiplied as good is multiplied. I give thanks that this is so, and so it is.
Okay, we're going to do our closing song. If you're able to stand up, we hope you'll sing along with us. This is a call and response song, Down in My Soul by Jan Garrett.
I hear the music
I hear the music
down in my soul.
down in my soul.
I hear the music
I hear the music
down in my soul.
down in my soul.
I hear the music
I hear the music
down in my soul.
down in my soul.
And the whole wide world is my home. Each Each day's a new day.
Each day's a new day.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
Each day's a new day.
Each day's a new day.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
Each day's a new day.
Each day's a new day.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
And the whole wide world is my home. I love the silence.
I love the silence.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
I love the silence.
I love the silence.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
I love the silence.
I love the silence.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
And the whole wide world is my home. I feel the power.
I feel the power.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
I feel the power.
I feel the power.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
I hear the power.
I feel the power.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
And the whole wide world is my home. I hear the music.
I hear the music.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
I hear the music.
I hear the music.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
Yeah, I hear the music.
I hear the music.
Down in my soul.
Down in my soul.
And the whole wide world is my home. And the whole wide world is my home.
Let's give them a round of applause for that. That was great. And thank you again to All Angles for being here. Just absolutely wonderful, wonderful music. So thank you to Joyce Lindell, Nancy Newman, Chet Hall, and Jen Fay, and Lynn Hollyfield, our music director. And thank you to Rich Kurashevitz. And yeah, round of applause for sure. And so as a reminder, today is our sing-along. So if you're here in the room, you have about 20 minutes. You can run down and grab a sandwich and come back up. Or if you're joining us online, go to celebrationcenter.org and click on Enter Zoom Events. We'll be there by 12:30. And with all of that, I invite you to repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
I choose to be open and curious.
I choose to be open and curious.
I step into life courageously.
I step into life courageously.
I see the world through the eyes of wonder.
I see the world through the eyes of wonder.
I continue to learn and grow every day.
I continue to learn and grow every day.
I live life in the flow.
I live life in the flow.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Yes.
Celebrate.